I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. This is a fairly rare, I shouldn't say fairly, this is an absolutely rare gem. We've got lots of pianos here, and this one is particularly unusual in a good way. 1895, Chickering, and totally rebuilt. So this piano is in excellent condition, having been fully rebuilt. Of course, 1895 is getting up there, which is why it needed virtually all new components. So let's check it out. Okay, so this plate has been redone. It's good looking. Same with the soundboard. New dampers, all new strings, all new tuning pins and A-graphs. That's these brass speaking length termination points. The hammers are new, the shanks are new, the whippings are new. So that's all of that is a big deal. You can see the components down in there. This is many thousands of dollars of parts alone. And by the way, people ask me about rebuilding these old pianos. They wonder about getting parts for these old pianos, and absolutely they are still manufactured. Parts were more or less standardized by, at least for American pianos, were more or less standardized by about 1880. So really a piano that was manufactured after 1880, the parts that are manufactured today are still or will work for those pianos that are that old. So this one being measly 1895, parts were readily available for this. So of course the design is still 1895, and the cabinetry and all of that, which also that's been refinished. So I've sold quite a few of these, of this category of piano over the years, and by this category, what I'm referring to is a antique rebuild of Gilded Age or turn of the century high craftsmanship. I don't know how else to put it. That's been redone to bring back its former glory. We have lots of let's quick example of these pianos over here that are in the mirrors. Those are all 1880s to, I think our newest one might be around 1920. So they're again antique rebuilds, and then we've got a couple other grands, but the vast majority of the pianos that we have here, and the vast majority of pianos that you would find really anywhere, are going to be black and shiny, or some version of this pomelo wood or walnut or something. So something like this, while sure you can get other pianos that are antique like this, having one that's rebuilt, particularly rebuilt as well as this one is, which is to a very, very high standard, really, really well done, that is unusual. One more, actually a couple things I'll mention. I do have a personal connection, somewhat, with Chickering, going way back to towards the beginning of my career. That was a piano that I one of my very first rebuilds of all time was a 9-foot Chickering, and so that's Chickering is a brand that will always kind of what's the word? Just sort of have a place in my heart, I guess. And my wife as well. She was involved in that rebuild all those many years ago, decades at this point. And my son, who's now 20, he helped us rebuild that. We were actually just watching home movies of that this weekend. He was helping. He was 1.5. I was working on it, and he was handing me screws, sitting on the counter. So yeah, almost 20 years ago. So there's that, and I'll also mention about Chickering generally. It's a very high quality brand, and it was one of the very first, if not the very first, I should look that up, American brands that really broke free from the European tradition. European tradition being pianos were really relegated to just Europe for over 100 years, and then American manufacturing of pianos started about with Chickering, I want to say 1840s. Again, I didn't look it up before this video, but I think that's right. And obviously, American piano manufacturing really exploded in the few decades after that, especially in the decades after Civil War. So like 1870s really ramped up into 1880s, 1890s, and that was all kind of started, if I'm getting my history correct, with Chickering. So they really were pioneers in many ways, and they could have enjoyed the status that Steinway now enjoys. Everybody, is gaga over Steinway, which, they're great pianos, but a lot of that I would definitely attribute to Steinway's marketing at the beginning of the 20th century. Not entirely, they're great pianos as well, but to say that they're that much better than other brands of that era, like Chickering, I think would be vastly overstating it. Okay, before I play it, let's just have a look at these keys. This is something that makes this piano particularly rare. Is these ivory keys? So these are real ivory, and they're in excellent condition, not just for their lack of cracking and lack of chips, but also their color. That is really, really unusual. The vast majority of pianos from this era, or even in the decades following this, that we're still using ivory, 99+% of those pianos, the ivory is in such poor condition that it simply has to just be removed altogether and put on a keyboard like this, which is plastic. Not that there's anything wrong with plastic, but ivory. I mean, that's just cool. And ivory that's in that good condition, that is super, super rare. To say 99%, that's probably even an understatement. It's probably 99.9. .6". That sounds good. Years old, 1995, and this piano still got it. So, if you are, something I didn't mention before we end this video, let's check out, because this is yet more, these legs and this lyre, absolutely unique and gorgeous, and a matching bench, of course. So yeah, so check out these legs and then look at the matching bench. Right on. So, super cool piano, very, very unique and rare. Come check it out. And as an instrument, this piano's awesome.